Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Sru. Thanks for joining us. So we're just waiting for you so that we can start. So
Okay.
moderator, Ikra, can we go ahead and start?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We can start.
Okay. Thank you, moderator, and Usman Melvin Jones Fellow. Thank you for inviting Botswana Optometrists Association. We have Srujan and myself here for the benefit of all those optoms who are interested in employment opportunities abroad. Before you actually understand the employment opportunity, we would like to understand the country as such. So we are a landlocked country in the southern part of the African continent. On the north side, we have Zambia. Northeast, it's Zimbabwe. On the lower side, southern side, we have South Africa. And on the west, we have Namibia. So we are a landlocked country with diverse landscape and wilderness. It's defined by the Kalahari Desert and the Okavango Delta. And we have the best safari experience. We can say we have the best safari experience in Africa, not to underestimate other African safaris. We are ranked 29th position as the best country in Africa and ranks 122nd out of 195 countries on the global scenario in healthcare. We have around 2.656 million population, a small population as per 2021 statistics, and our area is around 581,000 square kilometer, the size of France. It's one of the most peaceful, liberal, non-racial and democratic nation. We are the member of United Nations, South African Development Community, African Union, and also the Commonwealth. Our government is more of parliamentary republic, and our president is the head of the nation. Currently, since 2018, it's Sir Masisi who is the head of the nation, and our capital lies in Gaborone City, where I work, and I own my practice, and Srujan owns in the other part, which is closer to Zimbabwe, which is it's Francistown. He will explain further. That's where he owns his practice, and the official language is English, and the common language is, one of the common languages, Setswana, and most of them, even the villagers, have very good speaking English, but they love their language, so we greet in Setswana, and that's Dumela. Dumela is the way we say something like Namaste or Namaskar in our Indian language. The currency is Botswana Pula, and our most economic resource is diamond. Cattle is one of our materials which we export, or it's a cattle country. We export quality beef. Our national animal is zebra, to uphold, it represents upholding racial harmony. And national bird is kori, and national flower is Kalahari Devil's Claw. And the fruit is marula, which is famous for an amarula drink. You will always find whenever you run through Africa, especially southern part of Africa. South Africa is another country. We are close to South Africa in the southern side. The health professional bodies include Ministry of Health and Wellness, which oversee the provision of quality, affordable, preventable, and treatable and rehabilitative health services to the Republic of Botswana. Botswana Health Profession Council is a regulatory body that controls the practice of health professions in Botswana to promote the highest standard in healthcare and safeguard the public interest of the people of the nation. Srujan can always add once I end if I missed out anything. Optometry is a regulated profession in Botswana. Botswana Health Profession Council has approved the scope of practice for optometry in 2014. Earlier, we used to have two categories, opticians and optometrists. The ones who have done 3-year diploma course in optometry are categorized in Botswana as optician, and they have been asked to be existent under the grandfather clause. No more intake of opticians, and they have been asked to upgrade themselves. There would be around 10 opticians in the country currently who are included under the Botswana Optometrists Association. Along with optometrists, there are 2 cadre. The scope, back to the scope, which allows to use therapeutics, most of the therapeutics. Of course, we use steroids very carefully and wisely under the guidance and in advice with the advice taken from the ophthalmologist. Of course, our neighbor South Africa, though it's a bigger country and is more of wider other scopes of practice, but therapeutics is not approved in our neighboring countries. So we one thing which is very good about Botswana is approval of Optoms to proceed with prescribing medicines. And the other good point about Botswana is our relation with ophthalmologists is one of the best in the world. Unlike many other countries, we try to maintain harmony with the ophthalmologists, and they also don't interfere with our prescription. They give us the free hand to prescribe. There was one or two ophthalmologists who are still giving prescription, but as an association, Botswana Optometrist Association, we went to them and we explained to them that sometimes it is contradictory. Our prescription may not match with theirs, so they gave us the freedom to go ahead and correct their prescription and reassess the prescription before giving away the glasses. So the Medicines and Related Substances Act through Regulation 36(3)(e) grants optometrists prescribing power according to the scope. Of course, we are guided by Health Professions Act, Medicines and Related Substances Act, Public Health Act, and other Botswana Treatment Guide. The latest, we attended few meetings with the Botswana Medical Regulatory Authority, which is declared both frames and lenses, spectacle lenses, as medical devices, and therefore there's going to be strict scrutiny of suppliers who supply these products. And we have issues with illegal vendors, online vendors, and certain kind of vendors who prescribe. In Botswana, generally, it's very strict to only for Optoms to prescribe glasses or dispense frames or sell a frame. But illegal vendors, online vendors, publicize, advertise in the Facebook, and therefore this Botswana Medical Regulatory, which is a growing industry for regulation, is coming up with new acts so that illegal vendors are clipped at mushroom stage. Of course, the eligibility criteria is 4-year bachelor's program in optometry, even if whether you're a master's or a doctorate, because some countries like Ghana doesn't have bachelor's but have straight away. I think Srujan, if I'm not mistaken, is a 5-year program in Ghana and 6-year probably in Nigeria. Correct me if I'm wrong. And of course, the application with the very nominal application fee. You submit your certified documents with internship certificate, 2 reference letters, and a letter from the National Association, which could be a letter of good standing. It can be Indian Optometric Association. I'm not sure whether Optometry Council of India letter is valid here, but usually we take letter from Indian Optometric Association and membership from that, and certified copy of passport. Of course, employer letter, visa through employers is a must before you get into the country, and passing of both theory for foreigners. It's very strict. Locals are straight away given the health card by the Botswana Health Professions Council as soon as they finish the program, because we don't have optometry college here. They usually the citizens are sent outside the country, and it's mostly government sponsored to UK, New Zealand or USA, and even South African universities to do their optometry program and come back, and they are straight away given the blue card. But the private practice license, for you to own your own practice, you need to be in the country for 5 years and should be employed with somebody for 5 years. We all need to pass a theory exam and oral viva. It's not difficult, but it is the question. You need to be very good in your English, to understanding English, not only speaking English. It need not be an American or UK English, but a basic good English, understanding English and speaking English to pass the theory exam, along with your optometry knowledge. And today is our Independence Day, Botswana Independence Day. We are 57-year-old. And I hope you all, we wish all, I mean, happy independence to all the people of this nation, Botswana, which has been supporting us as foreigners. And whenever we end something, we say Pula, that means rain, and it also denotes the Botswana currency. And this is how the map looks. Over to you, Srujan. Thank you for the opportunity again. And we are open for any questions. But after Srujan adds up, if I missed, actually, we didn't know that there would be a presentation. It's just that Ikra told me 2 days before, and then I had to work on this. So I thought, let's make people understand what the country is all about before we get into an application process. Over to you, Sru.
Good evening, all. But ma'am covered most of the things regarding Botswana and optometry. But the most of the optometrists, which the desire for optometrists is as a profession, they wanted to be regulated. One of the good thing in Botswana is optometry profession is regulated, and all the appliances used in optometry profession would be under BOMRA, that is Medical Regulator Authority, very soon. They are already in a situation to draft the bill. If it is going next level, it will be optometry will be in very high standard in a medical profession, which every optometrist would love to have.
Thanks, Sru. Any queries? Do you have any queries? Maybe the moderator, Ikra, can
Yes.
pass on, raise the queries from the audience. I'm surprised you don't have queries.
Good evening, ma'am. Such a very beautiful presentation in a short term. So I would like to ask you a question. So is Master in Optometry can apply for the academics?
Can you elaborate what do you mean by academics? This is purely a clinical post in Botswana. We do not have an optometry institute in the country. For a small million population of 2.5, they usually send the citizens to outside countries, and it's sponsored by the government most of the time. So if you're asking about opportunities in form of teaching or
Yes, ma'am.
mostly teaching or becoming the head of an institute, there is no room for that. Isn't it true?
Yes, there are no institutions, optometry institutions in Botswana. The second thing is to make you very clear, the clinical practice, optometry clinical practice is governed by Ministry of Health, and there are around less than 100 practices in Botswana. So there is no scope for academics, but only practice management, a corporate practice management is there. So you will be the sole managing the clinical aspects of the practice.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. We have one more query. What is the salary package in Botswana for optical and clinics?
I think would Srujan like to answer? You have better experience.
It is mostly clinical practice, not optical only, because you have, once you cleared registered with BHPC, you'll automatically, your scope is considered. So you have clinic to manage. So it is optical come the clinical sides, both you will manage whatever you do in the clinic of optometry. Okay, salary package, you can say the starting would be around $2,000.
Yeah. To add to that, you can. I think they will provide. The employer would provide accommodation, isn't it, Sru? They'll provide accommodation, transport, And if you can drive, then they will give you a company car, and 50% of medical insurance is covered by the employer. Tax is paid by the employee, that is us, and it is deducted at the source of income. And once in 2 years, depending on the contract, and it varies from employer to employer, once in 2 years, you are allowed to go back to India at the expense of the employer. And there is eligibility of 18-day leave per
Paid leave.
year. That is, isn't it 18?
18 days paid
1.5
leave.
paid
Yeah.
leave. Yeah, 1.5 day per month, isn't it? Yeah. So what you should be careful about is the contract, because that's what is going to help, because we are always protected by the labor laws. So if the employer takes advantage or abuses us, we always can approach the labor offices, which is a separate department where we will be guided on how to go about with challenges or difficulties arising or conflicts arising with us. So it's very important to have your contract read much before you come in. So your pay package, everything has to be, don't rush. The moment you see multiplied by so many times, 6 point times Indian rupees, don't get carried away. First, assess the market. Check with a few optoms who are in the working field, who are employed. Ask their basic salary. Straight away, they won't give you increment. So you have to wait for some years before you ask your shares or increment. Mostly the employers would want to keep the salary very low. So you assess your market before you sign the contract, and read the contract thoroughly, sign it, come into an agreement before you actually get into the country.
Ma'am, one more question we have. How many years experience we need to apply for the Botswana job?
It's true, if I'm not mistaken, they are not very particular about the experience, too much of
2
experience.
years is minimum.
Yeah,
2
basic
years
to
is post qualified.
Yeah. Main thing is the degree. You need to have 4-year degree program from a reputed institute. If they have a doubt, they will definitely verify through embassy in Indian embassy in Botswana, and then they will send it to the Botswana embassy in India and verify your the authentication of the certificate and your names. Very particular. They're very particular about the names. I would like to add few points, because I was basically from southern part of India, where we use initials. Even Srujan, I do not know whether you they used initials on your certificate, but when I moved to the western part, I started using my surname. So the reference letters had surnames, and my actual certificate had only the initials of my parents and the family name initial. So they thought they were two different people, and therefore I was made to wait for 7 months. And I didn't want to give up, because I was from one of the best institutes, and it was like, why are they questioning about one of the best institutes? The principal of the college was contacted. Still, they were not fully convinced, because they found the initials on the certificates. The certificates had initials, while I was carrying a surname. So it's very important, get all the affidavit in place. Certificate, if there is a difference in the names in the certificate, have all this evidence that you are the same person, and then you apply. Reference letter is also important, and you have to be very, very patient, because here things don't happen at super fast speed, rocket speed. They take time. And our people here say that Botswana teaches us a lot of patience. You need to be patient with the officers. They will take their time to give you a result. So that means your waiting period can be there between examination and re-examination dates, and also submission of your application and date for the examination. That's the first step. Submission of application and then the examination. So it would take time. Examination per se is not difficult, but the questions are worded. It's a MC, multiple choice questions, and each question has to be answered individually as true or false in relation to the original question. So if the original question has a line and it has sublimits like A, B, C, D, E. And then each question has its own answers, true or false. And there's definitely negative scoring. What's the passing mark, if I remember right? I passed out way back. So is it 50% or 60s?
It is also under the promatric exam, no, ma'am?
It's under the, I didn't hear the quiz.
Promatric course.
No,
Promatric.
I didn't hear the format.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just like a DHA and MOH kind of exam, right? We also have in Botswana.
No, it's quite straightforward that way, but you don't have to rush through the questions. You need to digest, read it, and don't sit on one question for 10 minutes. If you're not able to understand the question, skip to the next. Try to finish, because there's a time limit of only 90 minutes, I think, to answer all the probably 200 questions.
Hello,
Yeah.
ma'am. Actually, she was asking you the organization of the examination, like the conduct, person view or the prometric, the way it's happening in the Middle East.
I'm not familiar with the Middle East kind of examination, but what we have here is
The board.
Botswana Health Professions Council has a board, ophthalmic
Okay.
board, which comprises of optometrists and ophthalmologists. Currently, we have
Okay,
only
excellent.
optometrists on the board. And those
Okay, excellent.
optometrists are the ones who will be setting the question paper
Okay.
and also conducting the viva, because they are the experts who will be able to examine the particular optometry candidate. So that's
Okay.
how
The
we
theory
have
and practical examination is like conducted on the same day or different days?
different day. You have to clear the theory first, and then
Okay.
go to the next step. Then you'll have to wait for the date for the practicals.
Okay. That means it's similar to GOC and OCANS. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Because GOC, yes, closer. I'm not familiar with the OCANs.
Okay.
Hi, Thanuja.
Yes.
This is Gitanjali. I couldn't resist after seeing Botswana and you on the panel. So just to add on what you said about patients, Botswana exam procedure, or rather the licensing procedure, will take a toll on anyone's patience for that matter. It took me more than a year to finally finish everything and then land in Botswana. And
Yes,
also for the salary packages, whoever, you must negotiate well with your employer. Don't hesitate to ask and clarify everything before you step into the contract. Because once you have signed, then you are gone for 2 years at least.
Yeah. And stick to only optometry practice only. You don't, meaning you will be the manager of the practice. You don't have to get down to other work, or you will be
Excellent.
given a receptionist who will work under you. You can train them to an extent to show the frames, and selectively you can go out if you want, you can go join the receptionist to go and show the frames. And you should draw the line, who talks what. You will be the main person running the whole branch, actually. Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's just that some employers can take advantage, not all of them, but especially I would say the Indian employers are worse than the local employers. To be honest, local employers are slowly coming up, but from what we have weighed, that Indian employers can be more, stingy on payment. So Gitanjali was absolutely right. You negotiate, you dictate your terms before you even come out of your country to Botswana.
Hello, ma'am. Jeevan here.
Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to ask: is husband and wife can work there in Botswana simultaneously
Are
if they are
both
selected?
optometrists?
Yeah, both are optometrists. Can they work together?
Yes, they can work. If you have got the job, you can work together. Maybe
Okay,
not in the same branch, It depends on the employer where to place you.
Okay. If she comes on the dependent visa, so she can
Yeah.
find the job and then apply there and there, like in Botswana.
If you are speaking to that particular employer, you should ask for the employment for her also, so that one time you can go through both. I'm not sure. Gitanjali, what's your view on this? I would rather say that the husband should work in one organization and the wife should go to another, but the
But
employer
then
will
it
say
would end up with conflicts in the
conflict
house.
of interest. Yeah.
True,
But
but
it's
you
safer
see,
for
dependent
the
visas are more difficult than your own working visa. So if both are working, it is better you negotiate with the employer and apply for both.
Okay, ma'am.
Dependent visas take more time.
Now, as long as if both register with BHPC, your both permits will be issued. So it's work to be in one company is more comfortable than two different companies.
two different.
So two different companies got two different views.
Okay, we have one more question. Job over there.
Yeah, ma'am. Hello, this is Ankit Sharma from Prayagraj, Lahore. Ma'am, actually, I have a question for 2-year diploma course holder is eligible to go for Botswana or not, ma'am?
We can't hear you. We heard something like 2-year diploma. Srujan, you want to answer that? Giving opportunity
It's not
for
clear.
you to.
Minimum is graduation in optometry.
Okay, sir, Anil Kumar, sir, question is, I am PhD holder. Can I eligible to apply the practice in clinic over there?
Irrespective of whether you are masters, that is one of the beautiful part of Botswana. There's no discrimination between a bachelor's, master's, or a PhD. But yes, you can apply as a specialist if you are specialized in, say, pediatric optometry. Your health card will be on specialized note. But irrespective of whether you're PhD or eligibility is 4-year program. So maybe the employer can give you a higher salary if you demand, but he's going to question you saying that you're doing the same work like a bachelor. So what is the additional, unless you promote sales? You go through the same process. There is no special way of getting in, bypassing exams. It is the same steps we have to follow irrespective of your qualification. And we all are titled as Optoms, which we have introduced that into our system. We try to highlight us as Optoms and not of doctor kind of a hype. We don't have that kind of hype. But the ones who have done their PhD or their OD program from Ghana, they are called Optom. We still use the title Optom with doctor added, and we are educating the public in general about us being as a specialty on its own, which is optometry.
We have one more question. Ma'am, autonomous degree are allowed or not? Autonomous degree.
Yes. As long as it's recognized, it's a 4-year program and approved by Sru, you wanted to answer? Yeah, as long as it's a 4-year program and you've done your 3-year curriculum and 1-year internship, and if they verify the institute has to be existent and it should not be like a off-campus program. It should be, the candidate should have done the course physically, then it will be, that candidate is eligible. Like I think Jeevan is done from Aditi Jyoti Institute of Optometry, which was not under any university. And you can even take mine. Of course, Srujan's is from Bharti Vidyapith deemed university. I passed out from the 4th batch of Elite School of Optometry, and it was not under BITS Pilani then. It was way back. It was I belonged to the 4th batch, so you can understand. And still, we were accepted. So the curriculum has to be 4-year program and you have to clear the exams.
Ma'am, suppose one optician or optometrist or the person has given us visa. So after coming to Botswana, can we change the job there and there if the country is allowed to do that?
No,
Like we can change the
you have
jobs.
to, you are bounded by the contract, isn't it?
Okay.
Not opticians. Opticians are not allowed into for jobs in the country. It's only optometrists, which should be 4-year program. And they can't swap jobs within that period where you have signed the contract. Very strict about that. Once you sign the contract, you have to work with the employer.
Mr.
Is
Jeevan,
it
these are the
true?
most you are about the labor laws, because you are sponsored by the employer to get your visa and you signed a contract with your employer. So that
Yes.
document is used to get your work permit. So as long as your work permit is that company, you cannot switch the jobs. Okay, if they
Okay.
want to release you, you can get an NOC, then only you can change the jobs.
Okay.
Hope this
And
will
they
clear
won't
you.
easily give you an NOC, no objection certificate will not be given easily. Which employer would want to give up on you after taking you all the way,
Yeah.
paying all the amount which they covered for you, as Srujan has mentioned.
Yes, ma'am. As you say, ma'am,
Wait.
there are optometry practices. There are no optician showrooms like India.
No, yes, optometrists run, it's not called opticals, it's called optometry clinics, where
Clinics.
you have display of frames and it is controlled by optometrist. So it is
Okay.
optometrist who is going to dispense the glasses along with examination. So
Okay.
we have very good freedom there.
Okay. Ma'am, one more question. What is the fees of the enroll in exam? Application fee?
300 pula. That is very
It's
nominal.
$3, isn't it? $3 to $4. It's very nominal. That is also paid by the employer. So
Employer.
you don't have
So,
to
ma'am, we
worry
have to
about
be
it.
present there in the country to give exam, or is it online exam?
It's that you definitely have to be in the country to write the exam, and for the written exam as well as the viva, as a oral. Yes.
Ma'am, prior to the examination to appear, we need the sponsorship, the offer letter
Yes.
first? Or okay.
Yes.
Yes.
That's from the employer.
Okay.
The
So
forms
before
which you
you-
fill will have all the requisites.
I'll add
You'll have
one
letter
more
from...
thing.
Yes.
Even if you finalize your job with someone in Botswana, unless you have your permits in hand, please don't leave your job in this country till that time. Do not resign. Your have come. Because the
That is
waiting
true.
period may get frustrating.
Yeah, it can
The wait
frustrate
period
you,
between your
especially...
exam and your final entry to the country may get frustrating for you if you have already left your job.
Ma'am, now it is Gitanjali ma'am, but now it
Yes.
is much faster. Your doctor,
True,
as
but
long as it's
Srujan, then
registered.
finally it doesn't, it is actually, it will take at least 2-3 months still.
No. Now if
And if
you
Christmas
register
falls
with
in between, done.
BHPC, 15 days is the minimum visa period now. 15 days.
No, she's talking
15
about the
days after
permit.
PSP.
She's talking about
Even
the
now,
permit.
permit
Permit
is
takes
15 days,
time.
ma'am. Permit, if you are
That's what I'm
now,
saying. Once you cleared your exam with BHPC, you got your blue
Yeah.
card also. But then from that time till you get your resident permits in place, it takes a lot of time. And if
no,
Christmas
it
falls in
used to be,
between,
yes, I agree with you. It was used to be like that. But now, if your application went with any medical profession, your residence permit will come within 15 working days. There is a immigration and the medical council there, which any application with regarding to medical profession will be cleared in 15 working days.
Yeah, that is the standard, but give an allowance. Do not, as Gitanjali said also, That's a good point what Srujan said, that yes, they are given a priority for your permits, but please don't rush to leave your job or inform your other employer there. I would rather say I would not, if I were working there, I would take leave from that employer and do things which I'm supposed to do this side and get my permits. That's when I'll give my resignation that side. Don't rush to resign that side. If you're in a good job and you're looking for an
Exactly. That is what I
better
meant to.
opportunity. Yeah, just be careful, because Botswana is a very strict country. One of the strict countries in Africa when it comes to foreigners getting into the country for a job, and medical people are given priority, unlike teachers and accountants, because the locals are prepared to take those posts. These are scarce skills. So we would be given definite priority. But remember, we are the ones, foreigners have to apply for an exam and viva and wait for the permit to come out.
And how about the quality of practice, madam? Like in the optical stores, are we allowed to use cycloplegic, like to do the
Yes,
cycloplegic refraction?
don't even mention optical stores. We are called optometrists. We have we don't use the word optician also. It's becoming obsolete, and optometrists are allowed to prescribe medicines. We are free to do cycloplegics. We can even go up to steroids, remove foreign body if you want. But what I would advise is, do not override and go above the ophthalmologists. We should remember that we were created by ophthalmologists to be the primary eye care professionals. We should be, don't rush to do laser. Of course, it's not allowed here, but work hand in glove with the ophthalmologists. So what you should be doing is do justice to your work, do a complete examination. And if you feel there is a need for referral, please do refer to the ophthalmologist. They will refer you back if the patient needs optometric evaluation, like say squint evaluation, low vision, even refraction and contact lenses. There's not a single ophthal who does contact lens. They are more into surgeries, and there are only 10 ophthalmologists in the country. That is in a way blessing in disguise for us, but not for the people, because they are focused on the surgery. That is what I always mention. If an ophthalmologist is confident in his surgery, he will not come down to give away glasses, have a business on glasses, or try to do refraction and correct plus 0.25 here and there. That itself shows they are not strong in their surgery. If they are strong in surgery, they have no time for this. They will be focusing only on surgery.
We have one more question, ma'am. What is the very first step in an Indian optometrist need to do work as an optometrist in Botswana?
Okay, I would say keep an open mind.
Protocol.
Keep an open, have patriotism, be loyal to the country, your country, but keep an open mind. When you come into a news, you should prepare yourself to adapt to the language, the surrounding, the people's culture. Sometimes if you're from a conservative background, you can have cultural shock, because here people are more free-minded, liberal, and I would take it as an advantage, because you won't have, the people don't have time to get into gossips, and they are more open-minded than our people that side. And when it comes to medical profession, they give value to foreign trained doctors. But now the trends are changing to an extent. But I would say the first thing is prepare yourself for the change and adapt yourself to the change. When things don't work immediately, don't get frustrated and lose hope. Be patient with the system, and with time you will get your rewards. As Geetanjali already mentioned, she said the waiting period might frustrate you, so you need to have that preparation in the mind and the confidence and faith. Srujan, would you like to say something on what is your advice?
As Mr. Khan, somebody asked, The optometry, the clinic is everything is done by you, monitored, everything. You can do, you just practice the best in your scope of optometry. If you practice within your best practice in your scope, that will be the best an optometrist can give. Don't cross the limits and don't jump into ophthalmology's space. You just do within your scope what the guidelines will give you.
So, sir, is the same protocol as in we are applying for Dubai job, so we should enter first data flow. Then after that, we should enter in a prometric exam. So we have to crack before applying job. We have to crack prometric DHA. So after that, we can apply and we can take with a friend's reference, or we can take in LinkedIn. So how can we know the Botswana job apart from LinkedIn? And the second things, and what is the process? How can we apply for Botswana job? Like, do we should first data flow, or we should eligibility for exam, and we should apply for job first, and we should crack the interview first. So that is one question.
Prerequisites.
Prerequisites, sir.
Srujan, would you want to answer that?
Yeah, as for, because if at all you are interested and communicated with somebody as any of your employer, most of these things are taken care by them. Okay, so if at all you communicated as an employee, your visa process, initial examination dates, and your visa to the initial visa, everything is facilitated by them.
Yeah, she was asking about, to add to what Srujan mentioned, because she was asking about how to apply for the job. What we do is, Srujan is the secretary of Botswana Optometrists Association. We take care of the association. So you can approach the association to apply for your job. So we can be in a better position to guide you. That is one. Instead of course, the employers will advertise by word of mouth when they go to India, because most of them, the employers are Indian owned practices, except for one or two which is owned by our citizens. So the Indian owned practitioners, or I wouldn't say practitioners, the owners, when they travel to India, they go and pick up from institutes. And we have no clue that they just approach the employers. So we are not in a position to advise. So what we would advise is approach the association. The association will be able to guide the candidate correctly, how to go about in the application, though your dealings will be with the employer. The employer is going to advertise. He might advertise in the local newspaper, but usually I hear that they go and seek opinion from the optoms they know, who are employed with them, and their family friends say if they want optometrists from Delhi, they will contact known optoms from Delhi, and they will refer, and by word of mouth or advertisement, that's how they pick up the candidates. The demand is there, but the vacancies are not much. The demand is definitely there in the country, but vacancies are not much. So when there is a vacancy, we would know as an association there is an available space. That is when we can inform you, and we can put it into all the Indian optometry groups that vacancies are available. So the best mode of approach is, even if you are approached, like for example, Jeevan, who was asking question here, he was approached by the employer directly, and he contacted us, and we were able to give guidance. He is still getting guidance, and it's us who said there is I sent him the link and said, join the meeting, and that's how he was here. So please contact us as an association.
Great, ma'am.
Either Srujan or myself, one of us.
And one more thing is, Botswana is not a very fast moving pace with the world. In case of the life is a bit slow, even the processes, office management process, the labor laws, everything, the process is a bit of slow side. immediately you cannot expect immediate response or something, because the manpower is a bit shortage. The skilled labor is scarce in Botswana. So the everything mostly is a centralized decision in headquarters. So your employer might given the application, but it has to go through so many channels. Once it reaches the decision taking body, that's when you get a prompt clear reply. So the basically the as Gitanjali ma'am said, the timing waiting period is bit higher.
So one more question. What is the portfolio or protocol in for doing PhD from Botswana? Is there any college who is providing stipend and all?
There's no
I
colleges
mean,
in Botswana, but very few. For academic side, there is no scope.
Yes. Yeah, the closest country in Africa you can approach. We are also having Botswana Optometrist Association is trying to collaborate with South Africa to have programs, higher education programs. You can approach neighboring countries and do your, even while being here, you can do your PhD in India, as well as Ghana also has. But I would prefer, if you are an Indian, it is better to try, because medical standards are quite at a high level that side, especially training standards. So you can try while working here, you can do your PhD from India. I'm surprised, Ikra, why you didn't raise the question on how safe is Botswana, especially for females, because when I applied, my uncle used to tell my mom, hey, it's, even when my sister applied, they said, hey, it is Africa, it's so dangerous. Believe me, it is far, 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 sorry to say this, far, far safer than, I'm more optimistic person. So you'll find me talking more of positive points than, and less of negative points, highly optimistic. So I like to talk positives. It's one of the safest country in Africa, even better than South Africa. It's safer than Delhi. The eve teasing is zero when compared to those times when I used to go to Kerala or even certain southern states. No eve teasing at all. They respect. They are very free that way. They have their own liberal lifestyle, excessive freedom kind of lifestyle, but it's quite safe, and especially for women, it is quite safe. You can even be in Botswana without your spouse and still be safe, because there are a lot of temples, churches, and mosques here. There are associations for religious. We are democratic country, so you have religious freedom here, but don't become over religious. Keep an open mind to them, because they are very peaceful that way. And sometimes they can feel a bit uneasy that foreigners are coming in here into our country. But when you prove yourself, you good, as Srujan mentioned, give full justice to the job which was given to you, you prove your worth, they will respect you for that. They will definitely respect you. And once they like your way of service, they will never leave you. That way their loyalties are good when compared to medical practitioners. When I'm not mentioning about other loyalties, but when it comes to loyalties to practitioners, it's quite good. They will come back wherever they are. They will come back to you if they have developed the faith in you.
Excellent answer, ma'am. Thank you so much. I'm going to ask the same questions because when I talk with my mother and my family, I have to go out of India. I want to go outside after my PhD or after 1 year. So they are very worried about, like, it is not safe. It is not safe for girls. How you can go after marriage? You can go there. So that type of questions, each and every girl is having that same questions. It is safe or not? So thank you so much, ma'am, for the precious answer and very good answer, actually. And what I am asking, what I am thinking now, if anywhere you are You should be neutral actually. You should be in the exam on WhatsApp.
I don't think we have a website for examination as far as BSPC is still upgrading its acts and site. But you can approach us as Botswana Optometrists Association to raise these queries. So, yeah, we have our website. We'll share the website link to you, and you can share with all the participants so that they can get into our site and understand what is happening latest. Sru, do you want to add something to that
Yeah,
about the examination patterns? Have they shared?
No pattern was changed. It's still the same multiple choice MCQs with the negative marking with the time period of 90 minutes. So minimum pass percentage is 50%.
And how many attempts, sir?
3, but they're going to
3
reduce it to 2. It's not enacted yet, but currently it's 3.
Okay. Ma'am, one last question, like from my side, last but not least. What about the renewal? Once we achieve the examination, once we get the examination registration card, so what's the renewal? Like we need to renew it once in a year or 2 years?
Yeah, it's quite easy. You just go with your, you go to the health council and renew the blue card. And say if you are license holder, there are 2 things. One is the Health Profession Council, which gives you the initial card, which you renew annually. And if you're in the country for 5 years, you can apply for your private practice license. That is a separate one, which is given by the Ministry of Health. That is also renewed every year, but they will ask you certain basic requirements. That's all. Again, you will have to submit for, if it's a private practice license renewal, then you need to submit your tax return papers. You need to submit your insurance indemnity. Yeah, the professional indemnity insurance, which is a must, which is it's an insurance which protects the practitioner and the practice. So that insurance copy has to be submitted, and your work and residence permit copy. If the permits expire, then you need to produce the latest one to the Ministry of Health. That is Ministry of Health for the private practice license. For the Health Council with the health card, the one where you apply for your exams, you write exam only one time, once in a lifetime at the office, and they renew the blue card. It's called a blue card. You renew the blue card every year.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thanks for your positivity. You spread lots of positive vibes. Thank you.
Is anyone have any questions? I would like to request you all, if you have any query, raise your hand. Okay, someone asking where is Botswana? It is in Africa. Okay.
Yeah, we'll share the website where you can and the you can directly. I will share even Srujan's and my email ID. You can write to us directly. You can even WhatsApp us. There is we are very free about it. We will give you all the advice you need.
Okay, so I would like to request you both, ma'am, can you please share the sample paper or sample questions with us so we can share with the students so they can easily crack the exam.
Yeah, that we need to take permission from the Health Council regarding the sample question papers, because the question papers are not given out to the candidate to take home, I think. So we need to get permission from the Health Council. We will see if they are able to give a set of question paper, then we will share it with you. It's not a problem.
Idea how much kind of questions we can going to ask in the questions in exams.
Yeah.
So it will help us out.
Yes.
It's a very beautiful presentation. Thank you much, Suraj, elaborating kind, enthusiastic kind of a session.
Is Usman still around? I don't see him asking any question.
No, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am, I'm listening to you, okay?
He's listening very sharply, yeah?
Yeah, in between I am seeing the patient also.
Oh, okay. Did we cover everything well, Usman? Yeah, you are doing a great job with your team here. both the Khans here having asking nice questions, and it is in the best interest of our young budding optoms and optoms who are wishing to apply. Because when we came, we didn't know many things, and we learned from experience. Oh, we should have asked more, because they'll
We
say
didn't know
this is your
anything.
salary.
Basically, we fought about everything. Some things we
Yes.
learn after a month.
Yeah.
Because for us there is no internet that time. It is a pure on your self confidence and how you handle the things around you. At least you guys know almost 50% of picture virtually. You know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. So it was a big challenge for us, and we learned making mistakes. They can say $2,000 is your pay, for example, basic, but they would not say out of 2,500 is your tax deduction. And remember, it's very expensive. When you multiply by 6.3 conversion rate, we will think it's a lot of money, but the expense out here is also high. Just like I'm not saying equal to USA, but you need to calculate and work your expenses and your budget when you are here, and therefore ask always $500 or $1,000 more, and then negotiate, as Geetanjali has explained. And eventually, with time, maybe after one contract of 2 years or 3-year period, you ask for an increase in salary. And also, some employers will give you commission or percentage. They will give you percentage based on the booking of the sales. But not everybody will pressurize too much on the sales, but there will be an element of sales involvement. But you will enjoy the work, because people will be very thankful to you after you do an excellent service, right from history taking to fundus examination, including your tonometry, counseling. It's a field. It's a play area where you can be a full optom without somebody knocking on your head saying correct 0.25, 0.5, don't prescribe this, don't do this, you are not doctors. No such things. You are blessed that way. So make the best use to give back to the public and the people.
One of the good thing here with the employers is they may worry about the sales and the thing, but nobody will interfere in optometric practice. You have given full clinical freedom of your practice. You are the sole responsible. If it is a wrong, it is only by you. If it is everything is done perfectly, the credit is yours. So nobody will interfere in your clinical practice.
Excellent.
Hope that will give you more freedom.
More questions, though?
We
Yes,
love your
sir.
questions.
Go ahead.
We love your questions.
One more question. In the DHA exam, we have a 20% of refractive error related questions and 5% contact lenses, 5% pediatric and 20% contact lenses. So the same pattern we are following in South Botswana, or
not at all.
is a different
it will
pattern?
be wide range. If Srujan can also add, I will share mine. My experience when I wrote, it was a little refraction, little contact lenses, diseases, instrumentation. It's a package of, it's like going through your 4-year curriculum. It can be from anywhere. It can be even from ethics. So it could be from anywhere. It need not be. And of course, they'll ask you more detail on the diseases. We will be like, you will be thinking about PhD way of answering questions. For example, there was one question they asked. They said about pathological, this is the pathology. How will you identify this pathology? You will be saying slit lamp with ruby lens, direct ophthalmoscope, indirect ophthalmoscope, OCT, FFA. No, FFA, ICG, OCT, but they would say no. This pinhole, with pinhole you find the pathological error. Then we know that with pinhole it is to differentiate between pathological and refractive. But the question will be, how will you identify the pathological error? So you should know to apply It will be simple, basics. So don't go too hi-fi, don't do hi-fi research and come talking about myopia management and all. And here the cases, keratoconus cases are common. So the vernal catarrh conjunctivitis is quite common. So those kind of cases, the questions can be related to those cases. Contact lenses, GP to some extent, soft contact lenses, bandage contact lenses are also given away. Low vision, not too much, but they can ask on low vision. Instrumentation questions can be asked. They love to ask on retinoblastoma and diseases. It all depends. And glaucoma, open angle glaucoma is common. So when you should look for the geography of the place. Like this place has more of keratoconus, so you prepare on those lines. But that doesn't mean you should not give importance to other specialty of optometry. It's true.
Yeah, they'll mostly, okay, first thing is you are a clinical optometrist in this country. You are regarded as a clinician, not as a optical dispensers, where some of the practices incorporates in India. Here, your main designation is clinical optometrist. So even the exam, mostly into clinical sites, your refractive sites is very negligible because for them, the refraction and selling glass is the least they expect as a clinician. But of course, that is the one which generates the income to the practice. But as a optometrist, you should be on the clinical side. That will be more into your exam.
Excellent, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a beautiful presentation. And thank you so much, both of you, for give your precious time and patience. And I think no one have any query. So give your mail ID, sir, and please share the pattern of the exam. So I will share the students, and I will share your mail ID with the students as well, so they can contact with you for any query. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Certainly.
Thank you, sir.
And please thank
So if
Srujan
you
to
add
have
on,
made time, especially Srujan who has made time on his birthday. Today he shares Botswana Independence Day as his birthday, and though I called him out on a short notice, he
Same
made
like
us
me,
time.
ma'am. Like my Independence Day and my birthday is same for
Yeah,
India.
15th August. Yes, that's true.
तो सृजन सर बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो आपके बर्थडे के ऊपर.
Thank you, Usman. Thank you.
Please share the record, Ikra, because we want to post it on our website also, that this was conducted, and it was one of its kind. Usman always comes with unique. Yeah.
In this time, we can give wherever there's opportunity, the good scope, we should try to embrace it. But I always request one thing: be the best in your scope at the practice. That will give you everything. Everything will follow you.
Yes, agree. And ma'am, next will be for Canada. Kasif Bhai is coming out.